Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Buffalo Community Podcast. This is episode 11. Today, we're going to talk about a wide range of things. But before that, we need our introduction.
This is the Buffalo Community Podcast, all about the greatest small town in the USA, the people in it, and how it all works together. Here are your hosts, Tyler Reese and Mark Benzer.
Hey, Mark, it's good to digitally connect with you again.
Sure is. It's always fun.
Politely said.
Yeah.
Well, this week, a little bit different. We're just doing no guest host today. And I think that's just a modification that we're making because of COVID-19 and the fact that, hey, we love having guests, but we also love having them in the office or the studio with us. Let's call it a studio. Makes us sound just a little bit better.
Exactly.
A little bit better.
Yeah, I think it makes for a more listenable / watchable product. Probably a little easier for you to execute in studio here. And so I think, until some of the restrictions are lifted and we're able to get cozy here in your office with guests, we're probably going to run solo here for a while.
Which leads me to a request to our listeners and viewers is if you do have anything you want us to talk about or address or any questions, you can send us an email at buffalocommunitypodcast@gmail.com. You can send us a message on Facebook, anywhere we are on our social media. And if you would, please leave a review and follow us on those. And if you have are just listening to the podcast, wherever you listen to your podcast, search for the Buffalo Community Podcast. Please subscribe so you don't miss any content. And if you can, leave a review. Helps us get new listeners. So now that we got that shameless plug out of the way, we do thank you, everybody, for listening. It's first up. Yeah, kind of jumping right into our content is some of the current things that are happening in Buffalo. Mm-hmm. I know last week we talked about Buffalo Days being pushed off into the fall, and we're approaching May coming up here. And what the summer looks like, we still don't know. Nobody really knows. But what we can talk about is some of the cool things that have been happening around Buffalo. Mm-hmm. Probably the first has gotten some excellent attention with Sue Olmscheid and Lillian's. Want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I think a lot of us probably saw it somewhere, whether it be through social media or I think Fox 9 is the only news station that I know that picked it up. But Sue getting an anonymous donation to her business, as hers and so many other businesses have had to get pretty creative and scratch and claw and fight their way through a pretty challenging time, and just so good to know that
people are working in the shadows and doing some incredible things.
Yeah.
Which this next one isn't really in the shadows, but the Here for Good Minnesota, or Here for Good MN, helping keep small businesses here for good campaign, the T-shirt campaign.
Yep.
With A+ Performance Graphics. I know I'm sporting my T-shirt today.
Yeah.
It was delivered this last weekend. I believe they've raised over $10,000 for local businesses. And then with the support local with J&J Athletics, I believe they've reached the $10,000 mark as well, which is just amazing. So the one Here for Good MN is just the Here for Good MN logo, and then the one with J&J Athletics has been a lot of local businesses submitting their logos so that J&J can print out T-shirts. You can go to their websites and search for your favorite business. Half those proceeds will go directly to that business and support them directly. And I think there's like 42 businesses locally, from everything from churches to restaurants to shops.
Yep.
It's really kind of cool. Something I thought it'd be kind of neat, and it was only because I was watching the Professional Bass Tour. You know those shirts, those logoed shirts that they all wear? They're all sponsored.
Yep.
maybe someone can put together one that just looks obnoxiously awesome with everybody from Buffalo's
Right.
logo on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if you have those resources, go ahead and send us one. I am an XL. Actually, I'm a double XL, but I don't want to say that.
Extra medium.
Extra medium. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's been great. And I think it's really neat. Hopefully it's one of those things that sticks around. I think we've, if it wasn't on the podcast, it's been in other conversations that I've had, but I'm quite certain that life will resume as normal as it was this time last year. 9 to 95% of what it was.
Yeah.
I do think 5% will change.
Yep.
And hopefully, some of these positive things of supporting our local businesses, and just, I guess that's the biggest one, but, doing good. We're seeing so much good. We're putting the spotlight on good. We're highlighting it. We're pointing it out. People are being recognized, and I firmly believe that people aren't asking for the spotlight, but I do think it is encouraging that we are recognizing this, because what do we see in the news? It's certainly not all that positive, and so hopefully we can continue to shine the light on the good that goes around in our community and around the state and around the country, around the world. I guess I won't stop at, where do you stop?
Isolationist.
Yeah. So hopefully,
I think that'll continue. I think that's a Minnesota nice attitude of, doing good.
Yep.
Minnesota nice. And shining that spotlight on it, we were talking about how much press Buffalo has actually gotten over the last couple of years, and not just local social media and local podcast extraordinaires, or even just a local radio station, but TV shows, some nationally syndicated shows as well. I was listening to a podcast that is very, very popular nationwide, but based out of here. They had their good news section of it.
Sure.
And it was some good news coming out of Buffalo, Minnesota. Not expecting it at all, but it was the Lillian story, and that was just this most recent one. But I can think over the last couple of years was Twin Cities Live out at Mill Creek.
Yep.
And then
What's the Scoop?
What's the Scoop was on,
Yep.
I forget which show, but they were top 5 best ice cream.
I think another Twin Cities Live.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Fox 9,
Yep.
we've had chamber leaders on Fox 9 promoting Kite Festival, and
Minnesota Bound.
Yeah.
Ron Shera.
Yep.
So we're kind of a popular little community.
Yeah.
So rest of the world take notice.
Right. We've always been kind of known for and received attention for occasional shops and antique shops, things of that nature, but also good to let the world know we're a lot more than that.
We're better than that.
We're bigger and better than, those are wonderful things.
We're not just that.
We're not just that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Better way to put it.
Right. Yeah.
So, hey, thanks for saving my butt there.
Yeah.
No, it's something we definitely enjoy being a part of this community. I enjoy seeing more and more people out, whilst respecting the social distancing guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
But just this last weekend, what gorgeous weather. Holy cow.
Yeah.
It's the end of April. There's jet skiers annoying the fishermen.
Yeah.
And as a fisherman, I thought, oh my goodness, there's jet skiers out here.
Right.
The water's 50 degrees. Come on. But it was really cool to see people out doing that.
Yep.
It was very fun.
And it's great too that I found myself thinking how desperately I wanted to be at Target Field.
Yeah. I think I followed your Facebook posts, or maybe Twitter, but
yeah.
That Saturday was about perfect.
Yeah.
That was a gorgeous day.
Yep. So
Actually got sunburn.
yeah, I think everybody got their little base tan or their base sunburn, and hopefully preparing for a really nice long summer.
Yeah.
So
definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Well, what's the next couple things that you're looking forward to?
I'd have to say probably the biggest thing I'm looking forward to right now is, with the announcement of schools officially being closed for the year, and we're going to continue the distance learning plan, which is going fairly well, I guess, in my household. I can only speak for my household, but
Again, I'm crushing kindergarten math.
Yeah, I am looking forward to that day when school is officially out for the year, and we can simplify our days a little bit, and I'll feel like I'll be able to put more attention on one task rather than kind of
absolutely
being an insurance agent here, but also trying to be a teacher and, maybe looking forward to get back and working in the office a little more frequently.
I can't believe I started the days until summer calendar countdown again. 21, if anybody's counting as of today. 21 school days.
Sure.
But yeah, it's been going okay. It's more of trying to keep the kids' attention. Mm-hmm. Again, my kids are first grade and kindergartners. So it's keeping their attention, longer than that hour and a half or so.
Yep.
And it's just finding different ways to keep them engaged and excited about, no, that's the way you do that. Mm-hmm. So
I tell you what, I'm glad I thought of this because so I have a sixth grade daughter who's doing really, really well with distance learning. I've only gotten a couple emails from teachers wondering where certain assignments are, so I'll call that a win. But my son, when all of this started, we battled a little bit with getting work done, and he did a lot of I don't know how to do this,
mm-hmm.
and I don't really want to know how to do this.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to teach anybody, your own kid or anybody, something they kind of are mentally checked out on. So
yeah,
realistically, I would end up basically doing it for them. We got to get this done.
Sorry, Mrs. Johnson.
Yeah, and you apparently, but the last week he has connected through, I want to call it Skype, but it's not Skype. It's just some sort of Google video chat.
Sure.
With one of his good buddies from his class. And every single morning, they video chat and hammer through their work together.
It's awesome. What grade is he in again?
He's in 5th grade.
Okay.
So, could a first, second, third, I don't know if, that would work out as well. But in 5th grade, he's in 4th grade. He's getting a little, he's savvy with technology. He doesn't need my click here, click there. They're working on it together. They've connected on PlayStation now, so they play PlayStation video games. So they're motivated. I mean, that's their reward. I've gotten 0 homework questions since he's partnered with his buddy.
That's great.
Together they work through it.
So it's that social aspect that maybe was just the click.
Yeah.
So
just seeing his friend.
Yeah.
I think, and then knowing that, hey, here's the carrot. Like as soon as we're done with this, go start a party. I think they're called a game party.
What do they play? If you don't mind me asking.
No, I don't mind at all. And it's some sort of, I don't know how it works. I think each party has to own the same or have the same game.
Sure.
So they went in and I didn't even know they had free games. I guess I'll check my bank statement to make sure it is free. But they downloaded a free game. I would compare it to like a Super Mario Brother, but PS4 type style game.
Okay. Yeah.
Cartoon battle game thing. I don't know. Downloaded it. They each have it. It was free, and they just hammer on each other for a while. And
cool.
So that's been, boy, if you're struggling with getting your kid to take a little initiative and engage and
take advantage of that technology of
it could be
thinking outside the box.
Could be just a matter of getting them connected with one of their friends.
Yeah.
And working on it together, because that has been a total game changer.
That's awesome
for us. So
I know we we definitely put the carrot out of playing Minecraft. And quite honestly, it's more like, you don't get to play Minecraft if you don't do this, instead of, hey, when you're done, you get to play Minecraft.
Right.
Guilty of that. But to see them actually talking to each other, because they can all play at the same time on the same screen.
Okay.
In just that creative,
Yeah.
mode.
It's a cool game.
They love it. I don't get it, but then again, who knows? But
Yeah.
I can definitely see that they enjoy that interaction. It's a little bit different interaction than we used to, and we haven't gotten anything online of playing with anybody, but
Yeah.
that be interesting enough when it comes to it. So part of these, we were looking up at some of the history or the did you know facts about buffalo. I know this is kind of definitely a different type of transition, but the city of Buffalo has got some really cool websites, and I'm sure the Historical Society also has it.
Yeah.
But some of the things, we all know that, Minnesota was founded in, 1858, but there's people here in the early 1800s, and they were settling around Buffalo Lake and Pulaski, and, there were some Indian tribes around, Native American tribes, I should say. And what really kind of reminded me, remember that carving of that man in Sturges Park, Old Man Sturgis? Really did, and I've known this for a while, but to remember that Sturgis Park is one of the most haunted places in Minnesota. It makes that list.
Yeah, I've heard and seen some different things.
Yeah, and that statue we're talking about was just kind of on the cut across from 25 to Montrose Boulevard, which we used to be just like this really crappy dirt road.
Yeah.
But it was carved out of a tree. I mean, it's just old man, but I think it was like stolen in the early 2000s. I don't remember what year. I was trying to think. I think it was the early 2000s that somebody took it.
I never knew what happened to it. I just knew it wasn't there. I thought maybe they finally just...
That's creepy.
Yeah.
But, I'm going to share a little bit of story here of when we found out that Sturgis Park was on one of the most haunted places. My brother and I, we drove to a few of the places that were on the list, and we're kind of really hyping ourselves up and just kind of getting a little bit freaked out. So if you guys have time, I'm going to tell that story.
Yeah,
So-
I got time.
So we were at this place in Waverly, and we're like, well, let's go down to Sturgis Park. It was about 11:45 at night, beautiful summer night, and we're driving, and the three-way stop between Montrose Boulevard and Highway 25, there's a park bench there. There was somebody sitting on that, which is weird. I remember seeing somebody sit there, which was weird. That's why I noticed it, because it was weird.
Late at night,
11:45 at night. But okay, whatever. So we go down, and we're parking in the parking lot. This is when the old bathrooms were still there.
Yeah.
And apparently what was supposed to happen was, maybe some lights flashing or anything like that. And anyway, I'm going to get goosebumps here telling it, because it was so freaky to me. I was with my brother, and we were on the phone with his girlfriend at the time, and it was about 11:59, 11:58. The radio started kind of getting it staticky, and then the phone call dropped, and then the lights started. I mean, you can
Really?
see if you can see my arms right now, and the lights like flickered in the bathroom. And, it almost kind of seemed like it was like moving, just like the shadows were moving. And I'm like just freaking out just a little bit. Again, reading all these stories, getting hyped up about it. And sitting there, radio, dead, staticky, dead, phone call, dead. Everything, 30 seconds later, it turns back on. His girlfriend calls back again. And if you're familiar with Sturgis Park, there's some street lamps up in that other parking lot. And all of a sudden, there's somebody walking, but I start up my truck. Well, it was already started. I turn the lights on, and I'm driving out of the parking lot. And there's a guy that's like walking towards the parking lot, and it was like that figure, but it like appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And we just booked it home. And I was like, I was so convinced that was paranormal. It could have just been, hey, what are you guys doing down there? But I was so convinced. I came in, and Mom and Dad were still up. I don't know why I was late. But,
Right.
Mom and Dad, my mom heard us coming running in because they knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
And she had hidden in my closet. And I'm running in, I'm trying to tell this story, and she opens it up and just scares the bejesus out of me. But so that's my Sturges Park haunted story. And that was, oh my gosh. I the vapor trail of me just hitting the fetal position and into the ground.
Sure.
And my mom just laughed. Just almost died laughing.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. That's my Sturges Park story. So
Yeah, I don't have any. I think maybe at one point there was rumor, the well that still runs down there at Sturges.
yeah.
Did you ever hear there was like a head in there?
No.
No. Okay.
I'm sure it's not true.
Of course. Yeah.
They took it out.
Yeah. But I think that's about the only Sturges Park story that I can really claim to have, or any weird memory. But I mean, I think I was in 3rd grade, which is like prime time for like, oh, there's a head in there. Yeah. There's a
go
head.
Look.
Yeah, go
Bezer's going to go look for the head.
Right. Which I'm sure there's great history to the well there too. I don't know, how long has that thing been running for? I mean,
ever. As far as long as I can remember, an artesian well, and
I don't know what purpose it serves.
I don't know. I don't know. So I guess if you do know, hey, why don't you comment on this podcast or send us something if you do know when it was constructed or what the heck purpose for it is. But anyway, that's kind of a fun thing, and there's a lot more things that you can see on the history of Buffalo and the did you know facts. And again, we'd love to hear some of those stories.
Yeah,
because this podcast is all about Buffalo.
Yeah, no, I'm fascinated with. I've had an opportunity a couple times to hear some stories from some pretty long-time Buffalo residents about, older buildings and what used to be there and what, and that for some reason that just fascinates me with some of the older buildings downtown and over there where kind of by Secondhand Rose in that area, some of those old historic buildings there. I think a bowling alley used to be in one of those buildings.
Really?
In the basement on the back side there. That's just cool to me, and I would love to. It'd be fun to organize a tour or something with a guide and walk through those areas and kind of get the lay of the land for what it used to be.
You can use our podcast clout to get one of those private tours.
Yeah.
That's probably a great idea for a guest is. If you are like a history buff for Buffalo and really can share some stories, I would love to sit down and just hear that. I think a lot of us can piece together something, like the lifers, the Buffalonians. But, like the normal. It's not a North American bison that we're named after. It's the buffalo fish.
Yeah, that's everybody's favorite Buffalo fact is.
Yeah.
The little known fact that's not all that.
We're not even buffaloes. Like, we're a fish. Which was great growing up wrestling. Oh, they're just a fish.
Right.
Anyway. But kind of as we're starting to wrap up this a little bit, make it a little bit more normal of a normal podcast, starting with some more speed round questions that I'm always a little bit curious about. And I like these. There's no rhyme or reason for why I pick these, just more of looking at a list and I'm looking, and there's like 250 of these questions. Oh, let's see. Are you a morning or a night person?
Morning.
Morning?
Yeah.
I'm very much so a morning person. I love it. One of my favorite things to do is get yard work done.
Yeah, and I can't say that I you know what? I think when you think morning person, you think somebody who gets up at 5:30. Say, like it's not. I just don't. Come somewhere between 9 and 10. I'm usually pretty checked out for the day. So But I do enjoy being up in the morning, especially when I'm the first one awake and you kind of got the house and everything to yourself. It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yep. Tell me if you don't like this question. But what is your dream job?
Oh, my dream job, professional fisherman.
Yeah.
That's an easy one.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do that. Professional fisherman. How about you?
I think I would love to be a professional baseball player, I think.
Yeah.
But the older I get, the less appealing that is. But that was always my canned answer.
Sure.
Like for my whole life.
Sure.
And so, but the older you get, the more you think about like traveling all the time and what used to be really cool about the job. Yeah, like what used to be really cool about the job is not quite as cool anymore.
Okay.
How about professional podcaster?
Yeah. So if anybody does want to pay us,
yeah,
we can make Mark's dreams.
Right.
Mark's dreams come true.
What's your least favorite type of music?
Oh, least favorite. I would probably say like the really big screamo bands, like
That's awful.
I don't really care for that.
I don't either.
And there's some pretty hardcore rock bands that flirt into that, and even those songs kind of suck.
Yeah.
But I really don't like that.
Yeah. I don't like that either. I don't love country, but I've grown to be okay with it.
I think you're getting older, Mark.
Yeah.
You're like, maybe not a professional baseball player.
Yeah.
What was your favorite cartoon growing up?
DuckTales sticks out.
Woo!
Everybody had a Simpsons phase, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody.
Yeah.
They're still pumping out new episodes. I don't know anybody who. Nobody asked me if I watched The Simpsons. Is it still Sunday that the new Simpsons comes out?
I couldn't tell you. I'm actually very curious as we're recording here. I want to know. Do you think they've hit 1,000 episodes? Do you think it's over? Do you think it's over or under that?
I would say, I'm not good with big numbers, but I would say way over.
Okay.
Way over.
What should our over under number be? Well, I'm looking this up. 1,500?
Sure.
Okay. I think it's going to be under that. That seems like a lot of episodes. There's only 681.
Okay. See, that's one of those things that's really hard for me to guess.
And that's like for everybody like in a TV show. Only 681 since 1989.
Yeah. And there's 52 weeks a year. Is there a season? I probably could have came up with a better guess, but I didn't want to put that much thought into it.
Yeah. Our recording device
now I'm
can't
tap dancing around my horrible answer.
Yeah. I'm not good with big numbers. I'm not even good with medium numbers.
Yeah. Right. Anyway.
Yeah. I like your answer of DuckTales. That was a great one. Maybe Darkwing Duck or Bonkers was mine. Bonkers was like, it wasn't super popular, but I really like Darkwing Duck as well.
Yeah. Who is your favorite class and or teacher at Buffalo High School?
Oh, I would say it was Wad. And for anybody who has had him, that's all you need to say what his last name was Mr. Wandemacher.
Mr. Ben Wandemacher.
Yep.
My senior year was his first year at Buffalo.
Which means like you guys are not too far apart in age, which is crazy to think about, right? I mean, but when those people are only 4 or 5 years older than you, they seem so old.
Right.
Right. Especially when you're 16, 17 years old. Yeah. And whatever his classes were. Although
he was in the technology, the
tech ed. Yeah.
Tech ed.
Yeah. Hanson's class in tech ed, Kinsella, Hanson, and Wanamaker, that area. I really like that. Even though Wad gave me the worst grade that I ever had, and I think I was like a B, whatever. Oh, wow. But my sister was his TA, and she got an A+, and that just irritated the crap out of me.
Right. Did you ever have plans of getting into like a trade or teaching in that area, or was it just
Never teaching.
Yeah.
But I always thought it was really cool. And I actually could probably say that I kind of do that now with Hanson's was like video technology. And it is way easier to edit a video now than with the equipment there. But I guess I always like that, and maybe that's why I do so much of it. One, doing this, and then even doing personal business for that. What was yours?
Mrs. Tracy Hulley I thought was awesome. She's still teaching. I think she was a great teacher in social studies.
Sure.
I was not a great student. I couldn't tell you what grade I got in her class. But just as far as enjoying being in a class,
Yeah.
that was one that stands out to me.
You know what one is probably on a lot of people's lists? Erickson's.
Yep.
Erickson's class.
Yep.
Oh, he had the greatest. Erickson, what are we going to do today? And everybody called him Erickson because he was a coach. And we don't want to do any work today. Well, we got to do something. Let's watch a movie. Well, I guess that's something. Yeah, we'd watch a movie. So that was great.
Yeah.
Anyway, you have any nicknames, or did you have any nicknames growing up?
I found that with the last name of Benzer, anybody that I know in my family, last name Benzer turns into your first name. You've had Benz, Benzer, whatever.
Yeah.
People in my family have been asked.
I think I've called you on the show, Benzer. Hey,
maybe.
Benzer, I don't know.
Yeah. It doesn't even
Phase.
register in my mind, and there are certain people who just don't call me Mark.
Yeah.
So it actually sounds weird for certain people to call me Mark. So not a nickname, but Benzer is.
But not your name.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Ben's Diggity.
yeah, right. Yourself?
Chuchi Face. That was growing up, and I don't know if that was from an aunt or a cousin or my mom.
Chuchi Face.
Chuchi Face. That was one. Nobody's really called me that in a long time. But the obvious Reese's Pieces, that was another one. Reese's Pieces.
Yeah.
Last name Reese.
Yep.
So, but yeah, Reese's Pieces.
Hard or soft shell tacos?
Soft shell all the way.
Wrong answer.
Oh, all right, and that will conclude today's episode. I love soft shell.
Yeah, I'm a hard shell guy.
Yeah, you and about only 15% of the population.
My wife has converted, so
there, take that.
One person at a time, and
yeah. Well, now that our speed round is done, I look forward to the next time we can come up with these answers or questions. I do find them fun to end the show on, and maybe we'll sprinkle them in at the beginning at the request of some listeners. You know who you are. We'll just call you TL. Anyway, for that, are we missing anything for this episode?
No. Thanks for hanging in there with us, and looking forward to getting back to a more familiar format. But till then,
all right. Till then, for the Buffalo Community Podcast, I'm Tyler Reese.
Mark Benzer.
All right. Have a great one.